I'm 𝐤𝐤𝐿 from Samskara Healing, and I'm happy to be here again with you all. This is episode 4 for the talk on Ravana, and I hope you all are enjoying all the conversations. I have heard some feedback and I'm very happy. Thank you for telling me, and also kind of asking me to read up and to kind of share more details, which exactly what I'm doing. I did speak about Ravana being the demon. I've spoken about the aspect of the 10 faces that he's carrying, which includes our Kama, Krodha, Moha, things like that. I've spoken about all that. I've spoken about the aspect of our ego, and also I've come to the point where I've transitioned to speak about him being intellectual. I started with it because I started speaking to people, and people were saying, he is such an intelligent person, and I was like, yes, he was truly intelligent and something to be really looking into and understanding. So when I started talking about all this and researching and putting my facts out for you all, so that each one of you who's interested and responding to whatever I'm saying, it started getting interesting. The interesting factor which I spoke yesterday and I continue today is about the Ravana Samhita. Ravana Samhita was written by him. It was written at the time. I will get to the details of it tomorrow. I don't want to kind of just get into one thing and extend it to a too long and elaborate talk. It was written by Ravana with the secrets revealed by Lord Shiva. Ravana Samhita is something that even till today certain astrologers refer to. And also there is this aspect where there is chapters on astrology, chapters on Arka-shastra. So this is one aspect which is very interesting. I have ordered my own book because I was just reading the reviews, and also I was reading the summary and things like that, and it seems to be very interesting, and I truly want to read it because there's a lot to understand and a lot to learn, and I will also tell you why tomorrow in detail. I'm not promoting to buy the book. I'm interested to read it. That's about it. So coming to the point where he's speaking about his intellect and talking about the kind of knowledge that he carried, let us just move back a step. He was born to a sage, the sage was Vishrava, and the mother was a demon who was 𝐜𝐤𝐿. So being born to parents who one was a demon and one was a sage, his initial years he spent, and he turned out to becoming a learned scholar and a philosopher, which kind of, and also he was excellent and excelled in the field of music. If I have to get into details and I have to speak in which field he excelled in, it surprised me when I made the list. Honestly, I'm telling you, it's like when you're speaking about a demon, there's only certain things you're looking at, okay? Because that is how we are conditioned and that is how we see. And I include myself in this conditioning. It's just not that I'm speaking about others, but I've done the homework of researching because I wanted to put out the facts. I just didn't want to speak about like a hearsay saying, you know what, I heard this and this is how it is. It's not right for me to say something like that. So I have been, every day I'm sitting and doing X amount of research, and I'm bringing out this matter and putting it. And I would love to hear feedback, like what I always say, because it's your feedback, it's your talks which is keeping me going to do more research and put more facts back out onto this show. So as I was saying, when I'm talking about the kind of the various fields where he excelled, one such field was aeronautics. If we all know about his Pushpak Viman. Okay, so one such field was the aeronautics. Then we have the alchemy, which is interesting. Then comes the field of architecture. And yesterday I did speak about how he took the help of Vishwakarma, and how with the help of his brother Kubera, who's a stepbrother, but he took help and built this Swarna Mahal, which was for Lord Shiva. But then he claimed it from the Lord as his fees because he wanted to stay with the Lord. But Lord Shiva knew something like this, and he did not want to let go of Mount Kailasha, so he very happily gave the Swarna Mahal to Ravana. So I spoke about this yesterday, and so architecture was another thing. Then comes the astrology, which I just mentioned earlier, where there are chapters of it in. So the other thing was astrology, where he put in a lot of effort. Then comes astronomy. The interesting aspect is cooking. that really took me by surprise. I don't know whether you're surprised to hear about it, but cooking, acupressure, music. Lord Shiva loved the way Ravana would play the veena, and he used to play the Rudra veena, and it used to be beautiful, and there's a lot of stories about it. Then came Ayurveda. Now here comes a couple of interesting factors and twists and turns. When Ravana's wife Mandodari was so Mandodari, the wife of Ravana, when she was pregnant, she requested Ravana to write a book on pediatric knowledge. So, if I may say so, though there's no evidence given, one of the earliest and the first books written on pediatric field, or whatever the right way to put it, is Kumara Tantra, which is written by Ravana. This was written to talk about the various illnesses, like how to deal with a child, and how, from burping to hiccups to the gas to everything which a baby goes through, the infant stage to the various stages. I'm impressed. Honestly speaking, I haven't read any of it. I'm just researching because I was asked to talk about Ravana, and I'm here talking at this very moment. I'm equally a layman, like all of you who are even listening to it, and I'm okay to accept it, that I don't know, but I'm reading up, I'm studying, and I'm surprised. And trust me when I say it, when I was told to talk, and they said you have to give a series of talk, and I just laughed and I said, what am I going to speak about Ravana? If you tell me to speak about Ram, he's God, so there's enough and more. I can just speak, because I've grown up listening to so much, but about Ravana, I don't know what to say. And I was so stunned. But today I take back every word that I have said, because I'm impressed with his intellect, with his knowledge. He excelled in his field. He excelled with everything that he did, and it's truly appreciable. And what's surprising me most is every person I have spoken to after I've started this conversation is in praise of him. And I've never had this conversation before this. Okay, I've never spoken about it. He's not been the main topic in any of my conversation. So I'm pretty surprised that every person saying, I heard this and I totally agree with you. He's an intellectual person. He was a highly learned scholar. Do you know this? Do you know that? And they are adding in more data to me, which is helping me to come out and give it to you all. So now, having said all this, I spoke about the 10 faces, if you recollect, and what it's all about. Let me say something better. I spoke about, it's very easy for you and me to sit and label a person and also say that, you need to let go of this. If you have all this, you are Ravana. If you don't have all this, you are Ram. That is the conditioning that we've all accepted, and we've grown up, and we're conditioning the future generations. But what I truly appreciate is there are the 10 faces that he carries, or the 10 heads he carries, is because of the vast knowledge that he carried. He carried the knowledge of the 6 shastras. I don't think any one of us have it in us to carry the knowledge of the 6 shastras and the 4 Vedas. So he carried the knowledge of the 6 shastras, like your Dharma Shastra, Artha Shastra, then he had the Kama Sutra, Brahma Sutra, and it went on. And then he had the 4 Vedas, the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda, the Atharva Veda, Sama Veda. So he carried all that knowledge in himself. So he was a highly intellectual person. You talk about administration, you talk about anything, he excelled in his field. So on that aspect, and yes, yesterday I did speak about the Shiva Tandava, the stotram which he wrote in praise of Lord Shiva. And I did speak about that bit yesterday. So in case if you missed it, just look up my previous live session and you would be able to see it. I will get into the detail of the meaning of Shiva Tandava Stotra in a separate session by itself. And I will also get into talking in depth about Ravana Samhita, because there's a lot of meaning in it. It is interesting how Lord Shiva imparted this kind of knowledge to Ravana. In case if he was a kind of person who actually had to be, yes, we know the story, we do know that he was terrorizing the 3 worlds, the gods got really petrified of him, he troubled them, and they actually ran to Lord Vishnu asking for help to save them. So it is understandable. It is understandable the way, all this is there. But nevertheless, there was something in him where Lord Shiva actually shared all the secrets and everything which Ravana has written in Ravana Samhita. So that is the interesting aspect. And there's just the little bits. I just want to kind of bring everything together, and I want to share it tomorrow with you, and the Shiva Tandav thing, which I will do soon. I thank you for listening. I thank you for being patient as I'm doing these little short live sessions, and I thank you for the lovely words of appreciation that's coming my way. It's my little incentive to keep going. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all tomorrow once again. So until then, I thank you. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye. Namaste.